So welcome back to another video. If you are new here, I'm Seth from Mission Impossible, and today we are doing the most brutal roller coaster disaster marathon of 2023. And if you guys didn't know, I absolutely hate roller coasters because literally they're just steel death traps. And this is made by Infamous Accidents, so go subscribe to them. And let's jump right in.
On our channel and include 3 chilling tales. Strap in, because this spine-chilling video will leave you on the edge of your seat. Get ready to witness the adrenaline-pumping thrills and terrifying moments that unfolded in these real-life disasters. The sun was shining bright that afternoon, casting long shadows over the well-known Mount Olympus amusement park in Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin.
I know that place.
It was about 5:38 p.m. on Thursday, March 6, 2014. Everyone was having a great time, their laughter and cheers filling the air. But what began as a fun-filled day would soon turn into a terrifying event that no one would ever forget. Among the many exciting attractions at the park, one ride called the Opa stood out. This spinning roller coaster, made by a company called Zamperla, was a favorite amongst park visitors since it first opened in 2006. The ride had 6 spinning cars, each one able to hold 4 people. It was designed to give a thrilling experience, with a unique feature that allowed the cars to spin during part of the ride, adding an extra thrill that made it different from other roller coasters. The safety bars on the Opa were a simple T-bar design that locked into place during the ride. But in October 2010, Zamperla found a potential problem with these safety bars. They noticed that the locking mechanism could potentially fail after being used a lot. So they sent out a safety bulletin to all parks using their rides, instructing them to check these safety bars every day. But on that day in March 2014, this safety issue would lead to a tragic event. As the sun started to set that day, 4 people were looking forward to their ride on the Opa. They got into the yellow car, excited about the fun experience ahead. The ride operator checked all their safety bars, and then started the ride. At first, everything seemed fine, with the car zooming around turns and everyone enjoying the ride. But then, as the car reached the part where it spins, something went horribly wrong. One of the riders in the first seat was suddenly thrown out of the car, falling almost 17 feet onto the hard ground below. People watched in shock as the rider fell, hitting 3 poles on the way down. Immediately, people started running to help, and someone quickly called 911. Despite the quick reaction, the rider was seriously hurt and had to be taken to a hospital immediately. The police and the Wisconsin Department of Safety and Professional Services started investigating what happened. They found out that the safety bar in the first seat were the...
So, now that we have officially mostly watched this, I hate roller coasters even more. Let's just clarify that. Okay, carrying on.
The rider had been sitting was broken. It looked like the locking part was worn out, and the bar could be unlocked.
I wonder why. I mean, it was kind of warning for that reason. Why not just close the dang thing?
Earlier that day, because the safety bars were also not locking properly. One person who had ridden the Opa just 5 minutes before the accident said that she had to hold down her safety bar during the ride because it felt loose. She had been sitting in the same seat where the rider was thrown out. The investigation found even more worrying information. Mount Olympus had not been doing the daily safety checks that Zamperla had asked for in their 2010 safety bulletin. If they had done these checks and found any issues, they should have closed the ride and fixed the problem. But Mount Olympus had not been doing this, which might have led to the tragic accident. On top of that, it turned out that the 4 riders on the yellow car had weighed more than the maximum limit set by Zamperla.
Go back just a bit.
She had been sitting in the same seat where the rider was thrown out. The investigation found even more worrying information. Mount Olympus had not been doing the daily safety checks that Zamperla had asked for in their 2010 safety bulletin. If they had done these checks and found any issues, they should have closed the ride and fixed the problem. But Mount Olympus had not been doing this, which might have led to the tragic accident. On top of that...
Okay, who do we think fell off? Ma'am, if, white and black? bigger or only dude. Lady in a pure white tank top, or the lady in a black tank top. Well, since everybody is holding on, I'd say that it's the one in the black tank top, since as you guys can tell, these guys have their hands on the safety bars, but look what her hands are doing. They're holding on to her cup. So there's no way that she could have caught it. So it's probably her.
It turned out that the 4 riders on the yellow car had weighed more than the maximum limit set by Zamperla. Their combined weight was about 60 pounds over the limit, which could have put extra strain on the already faulty safety bar. After the accident, the Opa ride was closed down right away. Mount Olympus was found guilty of not maintaining the ride properly, using worn-out and broken parts, and not following proper procedures. They were also blamed for not following Zamperla's safety instructions. After all of this, Mount Olympus decided to permanently shut down and remove the Opa ride from the park. They were charged with multiple safety violations, such as not keeping the Opa ride in good condition, using it with faulty parts, and not following proper safety and training procedures. They were also criticized for not adhering to the safety guidelines set by Zamperla in their 2010 service bulletin. In response to the investigation's findings, Mount Olympus announced that they would be removing the Opa ride permanently. The park took action to fix all the issues pointed out by the Wisconsin Department of Safety and Professional Services within a month of the investigation. The ride, now renamed Mighty Mouse, was given to Wade shows and travels around, serving as a grim reminder of the importance of safety checks and maintenance. The unfortunate incident with the Opa ride serves as a harsh lesson about the importance of following safety procedures and conducting regular maintenance checks in amusement parks. In the world of thrill rides, there's no room for carelessness, as the results can be devastating and life-changing. The next story takes us to New Jersey. It was a bright summer day on the 3rd of June, 2011. The sun was high in the sky.
Okay. Do you think that this would be worse or better? Let me know down in the comments. I honestly think, since this is the actual, well, the last one was a roller coaster, but it was in like a 4-seat buggy. This one, let me see.
Casting a warm glow over the town of Pleasant.
Anyway, but this one is, I think it was a 2-seater. So, like 13 cars. Anyway.
Anticipation hung in the air like electricity, buzzing with excitement and the promise of an unforgettable day. The students of Pleasant Tech Academy had worked tirelessly throughout the school year, and this day marked the culmination of their hard work. They were to be rewarded with a school trip to an amusement park, a place that encapsulated the very essence of joy and adventure. The destination was Maury's Pier, an iconic amusement park, a place where childhood dreams came alive, where laughter was as infectious as a summer breeze. But as the day unfolded, the joy and laughter were replaced with gasps of horror and cries of despair. An unimaginable tragedy struck, abruptly transforming a day of celebration into a day of mourning. An 11-year-old girl fell from the park's iconic Ferris wheel. Initially, it was brushed off as a freak accident, a terrible, unforeseen incident that had marred an otherwise delightful day. However, the whispers of speculation began to stir among the townsfolk of Pleasantville. Rumors swirled, casting a shadow of doubt over the so-called freak accident.
She had to be like not strapped in or something,
when the girl's parents filed a lawsuit against Maury's Pier, claiming their negligence had cost their daughter's life.
But it wasn't her fault.
A contentious blame game that polarized the community.
Well, I'm guessing
this incident came to be known as the infamous Giant Wheel disaster. In the heart of Wildwood, New Jersey, Maury's Pier stood as a beacon of fun and excitement. Founded in 1969 by the Maury brothers, Bill and Will, this amusement park had grown from a small venture into an impressive establishment. With over 100 rides spread across its 3 piers and water parks, The park had become a beloved fixture in the community.
I would keep it
Locals and tourists alike
care.
were drawn to its wide array of eateries, bars,
Yeah, I would say,
and the
hey,
picturesque location nestled against the coastal
technically
backdrop.
it's not my fault
But
for
what
the
truly
ride.
set the hearts racing were the thrilling rides, each more exciting than the last. Among these exhilarating attractions, the giant wheel stood tall, literally and figuratively. One of the largest Ferris wheels on the East Coast, it towered over the park at a dazzling height of 156 feet. The ride offered a breathtaking view of the coastline, a sight that made hearts flutter and eyes widen in awe. The giant wheel was a fan favorite, a must-ride for anyone visiting the park. One such eager rider was an 11-year-old schoolgirl named Abaya Jones. Abaya, or Bia as she was lovingly called by her friends and family, was born on the 23rd of May, 2000. She was a sweet, gentle soul with a heartwarming smile that could light up even the gloomiest of days. Her infectious joy and warmth made her a beloved figure in her family and among her friends. On the morning of the school trip, Abaya had an affectionate chat with her grandmother. The two spoke of their love for each other and the excitement of the day ahead, unaware that this would be the last time they would hear each other's voices. The much-anticipated day of the school trip finally arrived on June 3rd, 2011. The day was filled with laughter and excitement as the students explored the amusement park. Around 12:20 p.m., Abaya, brimming with anticipation, boarded the giant wheel. As the wheel slowly ascended, carrying Abaya closer to the sky, the unthinkable happened. At its halfway mark, Abaya suddenly fell from her car and plummeted to the ground, her descent as swift as it was horrifying. The area around the ride was immediately thrown into chaos. People rushed towards the scene, their faces pale with shock and disbelief. A local, Travis Smith, was among the witnesses. His account echoed the chilling reality of the incident. All of a sudden, I see people rushing towards the Ferris wheel. I see this towel, and I was alarmed, he recounted. Emergency personnel arrived promptly at the scene, battling against the tide of time to save the young girl. Despite their best efforts, Abaya tragically succumbed to her injuries at Cape Regional Medical Center around 1:15 p.m. Meanwhile, the park officials promptly shut down the ride, and a thorough investigation was launched to uncover the circumstances of the tragic incident. The news of the accident sent shockwaves through the community, painting a grim picture of a joyous summer outing turned tragic. Parents across the country watched with a heavy heart.
Pause. Wildwood. Okay. So let's read some of this real quick. 11-year-old girl dies after falling from Wildwood's Ferris wheel. At Moore's Marine's Landing Pier on Friday, she was on a field trip with her school. The ride was in motion, and Abaya Jones was about halfway up when she fell off of her Ferris wheel car. I want to know how tall the Ferris wheel is. $156 feet. What? What was her name? approximately 100 feet. How did she... It said that she lived till she got into the hospital. How do you live from that? Wow. That's interesting.
As the story unfolded, the initial findings by the police suggested that Abaya's fall might have been a freak accident, a terrible misfortune that could not have been anticipated or prevented. Witnesses speculated that Abaya might have been trying to get a better view and lost her balance, causing her to fall. A thorough check of the Ferris wheel found no mechanical issues, lending further credence to the idea that it was a freak accident. However, 2 years after the tragic incident, on June 3, 2013, Abaya's parents filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Maury's Pier. The lawsuit shook the community, sparking contentious debates and divisive opinions. The lawsuit was based on 3 critical points. First, Abaya was riding alone, which was against Maury's Pier's operating procedures. Second, they pointed out the heavy winds on the day of the incident, which could have made the ride unsafe. Lastly, they claimed the safety measures of the ride were inadequate, as the box in Abaya's car door were not locked when she fell. The lawsuit was met with firm resistance from the amusement park. They maintained that the school was to blame, citing poor organization of the school trip. The lawsuit was a grueling battle, its outcome shrouded in uncertainty. The specifics of the case's outcome were never made public, leaving many questions unanswered. However, the incident led to significant changes at Maury's Pier.
It's not their fault.
The minimum height restrictions for rides were increased, and the 2-person rule was more strictly enforced. Despite these changes, the tragic incident continues to cast a long shadow over the park and the community. In the aftermath of the incident, the memory of Abaya Jones lives on. Her radiant smile and infectious joy continue to touch the hearts of those who knew her. She was a beacon of light, a source of joy and warmth in her family and among her friends. She is remembered fondly and dearly missed. Her tragic demise is a sobering reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of safety measures in places of amusement and recreation. As we remember Abaya, let us also remember to always hold our loved ones close and to never take a moment for granted. The last story takes us to England. Ava Janeth, an 11-year-old girl from Leicester, was a star on the rise. She was bright, promising, and had dreams that stretched as far as the eye could see. Ava dreamt of becoming a school teacher, of shaping young minds, and making a difference in the world. Unfortunately, this precious dream was brutally extinguished in 2017 when Ava lost her life in a tragic accident while on a school trip with the Jamaica Girls Academy. The incident occurred on the Splash Canyon ride at Drayton Manor Theme Park, a place meant for joy and laughter, which on that fateful day became a ground of unspeakable horror. The Splash Canyon ride, a rapid river adventure ride themed around a western mining town, was a major attraction at the park. The ride, which consisted of 21 boats, each designed to hold 6 people, was a delightful mix of thrill and fun. The ride...
Okay, this is what I don't understand. How do you possibly die on whatever you call that? Splash Hill, Splash Mountain, Splash Barrel, whatever. How do you die just on water? I mean, if you know that you're going to fall off or whatever, jump away from the raft and then swim to the dock. I was like, oh, hey, look at me. I just got to jump in front of a raft to die. No, don't do that.
It required a minimum height of 2.95 feet, and children under 3.6 feet were required to be accompanied by an adult.
That does make
However,
sense.
these safety measures proved tragically insufficient in Ava's life. On May 9th, 2017, Ava, along with her classmates, was on a school trip to the park. They were having the time of their lives, laughter echoing in the air, the excitement of the rides palpable.
Yay.
Ava and 5 of her classmates found themselves boarding one of the boats on the Splash Canyon ride. As the boat began moving, the girls started splashing.
Wait, go back. just a bit.
The excitement of the ride's palpable. Ava and 5 of her classmates found themselves boarding one of the boats on the Splash Canyon.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. Here, I'll zoom in. That. And then that. What happens if right there, here, I'll draw a line. Black this time. What if these people right here fall? Oh. I'm so sorry. 1 second. Okay. What if these people fall and these people are going forward? What if it's right here? All of these people would die, which is like a lot, like 25. And these 8 people would die. Why would he put a corkscrew right above another ride? That's a death trap in itself.
Ride. As the boat began moving, the girls started splashing water on each other, a forbidden act that was probably overlooked due to their innocent enthusiasm and the lack of adult supervision.
It kind of makes sense
Ava stood up to
why
switch
she
seats,
fell off.
just as the boat picked
Because
up
she was
speed and hit a
reaching
barrier.
down and grabbing
She
the
lost her
water.
balance and plunged headfirst into the water. The next few minutes were a struggle of life
Lost
and
her
death.
balance. Wait.
Ava, who couldn't swim,
Lost her balance. What was she doing? Standing up? Why was she's like 8? She should know not to reach over the side of a raft, scoop up water, and throw it out to her friend. That's an accident in itself. I mean, if they sue a place for this ride, I would be mad. Because it's not their fault. I mean, they should have taught their kid not to lean over a side of a raft while it's going down like whitewater falls and just start to splash their little friends in the face with water. And it sounds like they kind of stood. Here, I'll replay and be quiet. I'm a little bit loud today.
probably overlooked due to their innocent enthusiasm and the lack of adult supervision. In the heat of the moment, Ava stood up. Ava and 5 of her classmates found themselves boarding one of the boats on the Splash Canyon ride. As the boat began moving, the girls started splashing water on each other, a forbidden act that was probably overlooked due to their innocent enthusiasm and the lack of adult supervision. In the heat of the moment, Ava stood up to switch seats, just as the boat picked up speed.
Pause. Why was she standing up to switch seats? If anything, go around in a circle or continuously down and switch. Don't stand up on a ride. Heck, no wonder why she fell off.
Hit a barrier. She lost her balance and plunged headfirst into the water. The next few minutes were a struggle of life and death. Ava, who couldn't swim, desperately tried to climb back onto the...
Pause. Why would she decide to go onto that raft and stand up when she can't swim? So smart. Here, let's just splash some water. Hey friends, you know, it's very dangerous ride, but I can stand up on it and literally die because I can't swim, and just try to stand up. If we fall, die. Yeah. Such a brilliant idea. Definitely.
boat, but the current was too strong. She attempted to escape by climbing the travelator that returned the rafts to the start of the ride. but
Actually,
failed.
that's kind of smart. I would do
Soon,
that.
she was sucked into the deep water near the travelator and drowned. The horrifying ordeal lasted 11 minutes before the park staff noticed that a child was missing. Teresa Atkinson, a witness, watched the tragedy unfold from a viewing platform. She tried to alert the staff.
How did they get her out of that? Like, did they have to shut down the ride and get somebody to jump in? Because I'm guessing that it's like 9 feet where it is. Or 5 or whatever. But who was hired to jump down and grab a dead body? Or search for a dead body, number one, because nobody knows where she was. Or, yeah, where she was. Oh, look.
But her screams went un...
Right there. Which I'm guessing is about, yeah, probably 9 feet deep. It probably gets deeper as it goes. So,
heard amidst the park's noise.
The
park's protocol required the staff to check their CCTV footage to verify an incident, a procedure that cost precious time in Ava's case.
Cameras.
By the time they rescued her.
So, if they do get sued by their parents, guess what they can say? Haha, it's not our fault, because your kid was dumb, and he decided to stand up and basically jump over, because she was like stepping over a kid, and she probably lost her balance and just flopped in.
Ava was in critical condition, and despite being airlifted to the hospital, she succumbed to her injuries. The aftermath of the incident was marked by grief and a deep sense of regret. Ava's dreams were crushed, and her family was left to grapple with the loss of a beloved child. The investigators pointed out several failures on the park's part. The risk assessment in place was found to be inadequate, and there were insufficient control measures to detect a person in the water. The CCTV coverage was limited, and the warning signs were either incomplete or unreadable due to wear and tear. Most critically, there was no efficient system in place to rescue anyone who had fallen into the water. Drayton Manor Park pleaded guilty to the charges.
Here, I have a good idea. Turn off a ride and get a professional scuba diver to come in there and sweep the bottom.
But declared bankruptcy before paying the £1 million fine. The park was later...
Wait, why did they get fined for this? It was her fault for being dumb.
Sold to the French company Looping Group and became Drayton Manor Resort. The Splash Canyon ride was overhauled and reopened in 2021 as part of a new themed area named Adventure Cove. This tragic incident is a sobering reminder of the importance of safety measures and the need for strict adherence to them. It also underscores the responsibility that organizations, like theme parks, have to ensure the well-being of their patrons, especially the youngest among them. In the case of Drayton Manor, it appears that there was negligence towards not just the safety rules and procedures, but also a lack of responsiveness to past incidents and complaints. Ava's unfortunate demise was not the first incident at the park. Between 2011 and 2013, there were 3 reported instances of people falling into the water at the Splash Canyon ride. Despite these serious complaints, the park failed to implement any changes, leading to the loss of a young, promising life. Ava's family was left devastated. Her dreams, her aspirations, her potential, all were cruelly snuffed out in a single horrifying incident.
Honestly, if I was them, instead of being mad at theme park owners, I would be very mad at the school. Because the theme park, they had no say in it. I mean, they technically did, but technically the rules were you have to be 3.6 inches or taller to go on alone. I am definitely guessing that she was over that. So, Just saying. Just saying. But the school, I don't know where the rest of the kids were oriented. But I'm guessing that they also had sponsors and stuff, and like at least 5 teachers since it's an academy. But I don't understand why they didn't have one teacher per each raft. Because, then that would ensure safety, and that would be the school's fault anyway, so really, isn't it the school's fault? Let me know. Please, I would love it.
Ava's mother took years to come to terms with the loss of her beloved daughter, a girl described by her as beautiful, full of love, and always smiling. The void left by Ava's absence was impossible to fill. The family's pain was echoed in their statement. Words cannot describe the pain and loss we feel. We are devastated that we will not see our beautiful little girl again. The story of Ava Janeth's tragic death is a harsh reminder of the importance of strict safety measures and adherence to protocols in places like theme parks. It also underscores the necessity for adult supervision, especially when children are involved. It's a call to action for all such establishments to review and renew their safety protocols to ensure that such a tragedy does not repeat itself. The Splash Canyon ride, which was closed following Ava's incident, was reopened after a complete overhaul on August 11th, 2021, as part of a new themed area named Adventure Cove. The park, once drowning in debt, was sold to the French company Looping Group and rebranded as Drayton Manor Resort.
Well, if you guys liked that video, please like it. If you guys didn't like it, please dislike it, but tell me what you guys want it to be changed. And shout out to Famous Accidents for well, technically no allowing us, I did get permission, but I did not copyright because I didn't mention them, so haha. But anyway, shout out to them. Great video. Love it. And see you guys in another video.